Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to this first meeting of the Road Board and School Board Zones Committee, we're calling this. And first, what I'm going to do, I've put together a few pieces of information here that pass these around. And we'll sort of just go over that briefly. And then my only assignment is for you to help you elect a chairperson. Then you will set your own agenda and your own meeting dates from this point forward. Okay. Now the first page on there is simply the agenda for tonight. The second page and the third page, just for your information, you have a list of every person that's a participant on this board. And we have with us tonight Mr. Keith Bratcher, who is representing the Road Board. Mr. Aaron Holliday, that represents the School Board, he's not with us yet. Jeff Phillips is County Commission representative. Tanya Nell is the representative from Laverne. She is not with us yet. Don Lamb is the Eagleville representative. Mr. Jim Stubblefield is the Murfreesboro representative, and Jerome Dempsey represents Smyrna. And we have two unincorporated area representatives, that being Edward Phillips and Coy Young, who are both with us. So you have 9 members of this group. And next is the actual resolution that was passed by the Board of Commissioners that put in place this group of individuals to serve on this committee. And it basically outlines what I just outlined as far as who represents who in what locations. And the committee will elect its chairman at the first meeting, and that person will give a monthly progress report to the full commission until such time a recommendation is made by the committee. And they have set a target of 9 months for this committee to deliberate and make a recommendation. Now, suffices to say, it may not be true that you ever come to a recommendation, but if you do, that's the time frame they sort of suggested that that happened within. The steering committee adopted a set of what's called draft guidelines. And if you see that next page, it's got 10 items there. That sort of outlines some of the things that have been put in place as sort of your things to go by as you go through this discussion. The item number 2 says each member will be given a copy of a guide to local redistricting in Tennessee, the 2011 edition. That is a booklet that was prepared by the Comptroller's office, and it's this booklet here, and it's several pages. Actually, I didn't make copies of this. Copies can be made, but did I make a copy? I think maybe, did she put in the package the cover page of that? We'll look to see if she did or not. It is. If you see that, it's online, and we just chose at this meeting to put a copy of that first page so that you can decide if you want that. If you can get it off online, fine. If you want to read it and refer to it, or if you want us to make you a copy, let me know. It may be that our election administrator has some copies of this, because these were provided to a number of them initially. I only have one at this moment, but you can see that if you go into the comptroller there, you can get this document if you so choose.
We don't have any copies.
You're out of copies as well. There you are.
We did not get copies.
You didn't get copies.
They're available online, though.
Okay. So it's online, but if anybody can't get this online, if you'll let my office know, Vicki will make you a copy somehow. Okay. The county attorney is available when you choose for that person to be here. He won't come unless you ask him or feel like you have a need for him to be here, but he is available. And Ms. Lester is here with us, and she must have come in after we started this. I didn't see her when I first got here. Were you sitting there when I initially got here? So excuse me for missing you. And also we have with us Mr. Mike Curtis, this young man sitting here that will be able to provide you all the demographic information you want in any way you want to see it. You just simply have to ask him for it and describe how you would like for this to be presented for your consideration. Now, he might even can do number 4 if you want an overview. Maybe that's for the next meeting to describe how we determined all of these commission districts. One thing that's out of play here, you can't tinker with the commission districts. What you got is what you got, and you have to stay within those. Now, you can reconfigure those in any way you might propose. Groups of 3 commission districts comprise a school board zone and a road board zone. Now, I gave you also the private acts that we got actually passed this time. You can see the school districts and which 3 commission districts make up each of these school districts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 school districts. There are 7 road board districts. Road District 1 and School District 1 are comprised of the same 3 commission districts, all right? We had to do a few things, and Ms. Lester, if this committee chooses, she can tell you later. We had to make some of these terms on the road board 6-year terms so that we wouldn't abridge anyone's term, so to get this sort of straightened out. That's been done, and hopefully that complicated process will be something that will stand in place for a long time to come. Okay. Any questions at this point? I mean, that's just sort of an overview and gives you a little bit of information from which you can start the process of doing what you think you've been challenged to do.
After a number of meetings, I don't know how many, but after a number of meetings of this committee decides that there is no better recommendation than what's already on the board, could that be the recommendation?
Absolutely.
So we're not charged with doing with absolutely positively having to do something different?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this young lady at the end of the table here is this, I just assume everybody knows her, but this is Becky Shelton, and she is your secretary, and she knows all the moving parts within county government, so you can, she'll be available and be a great assistance to you. So, all right. All that being said, then, my only other assignment right now, and this, did I miss anything, Ms. Lester, that I should have told them, just let them start on their own after they get going here, right? Okay. I'm just simply going to open the floor up for nominations for chairperson. Now, some of you don't know the others, but this is Mr. Lamb, this is Mr. Dempsey, this is Mr. Stubblefield, Mr. Young, Mr. Jeff Phillips, Mr. Edward Phillips, and Mr. Keith Bratcher. So the floor is open for nominations for chairperson.
I'd like to make a nomination. I'd like to nominate Jeff Phillips.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
Second.
Mr. Stubblefield. Are there other nominations? Okay, if there are no other nominations, then I assume we don't have to have a motion to nomination to cease, but we'll take one of those. Someone make a motion for
I'll make a
nomination.
motion on their
Cease.
Second.
And second by Mr. Phillips, that we elect Mr. Phillips by acclamation. Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
All right. All in favor of that, then please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. And we appreciate your willingness to serve. It will be a challenging effort. And here's a couple more of those packages. Let me say this. Rutherford County OIT, the Election Commission, whatever resources we have and you need in the county attorney's office, we want to make available to you. You just have to let us know what you need and how you want it done, and we'll let you continue at your own pace. And Ms. Shelton will help you with scheduling your meeting dates and times. That's up to you to do that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not so sure whether I'm going to tell him thank you or not. Let's get on with the agenda. We need a vice chair, and I'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair. This is kind of an important position as well, so.
It should be somebody that knows how the commission works, that is comfortable getting up, speaking in front of them. And I don't know who at this table, gets up in front of the commission or knows the dynamics of the commission. But if there is someone there that, in case the chairman's out, they would feel comfortable filling in.
Ever, would you do it? Will you do it? I'm not
I'm
ready.
just not familiar enough.
If you
with,
do it, huh?
I'm not familiar with Robert's Rules of Orders and things like that, so.
Robert's Rules of Orders is a guideline that,
Yeah.
and a lot of committees that I've chaired, we've wavered from quite a bit to do the right thing, okay? So.
May I always study up, I guess, if no one wants to.
I make a motion to nominate Edward as the vice chairman.
There's a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other nominations? Someone want to move that nomination cease and Mr. Phillips be elected by acclamation?
So moved.
I have that as a motion and need a second.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor of Mr. Phillips, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, future meetings. We're kind of wide open. The county commission has meetings that cover different days throughout the week. We are really not obligated to find different dates. Today is a Tuesday, and if I'm not mistaken, can you tell me what committee usually meets today?
Well, I will tell you that Wednesday is the clearest date. Redistricting met on Wednesdays. There are 2 standing committees that meet on a Monday. There are 2 that meet on a Thursday and 2 that meet on Tuesdays. It's not, you can do it, and the commission, of course, is a Thursday.
I'm not real sure how you guys feel about Wednesdays, but Wednesdays we would have no conflict, and we could set our time as early as possible if you guys want to, like at 5 o'clock or so, and we could get out of here in case someone wanted to attend church.
What's your schedule, Vicki? Will Wednesday suit you?
Oh, that's fine.
Only Wednesday would conflict with me would be the second one of the month, because I serve on the Board of Zoning, and we have ours on the second Wednesday of every month. So,
What time?
6 o'clock.
Yeah, they meet right here.
We meet in there.
Okay. Wednesday, is that okay with everyone?
Yeah,
Anyone have a-
Wednesday's good for me, yes.
So
Me too.
Yeah.
Wednesday would be fine with me.
Wednesday, but-
Okay, let's see. The full commission usually meets the second Thursday, and the planning commission usually meets the second and fourth, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't know about planning commission.
Okay. What was yesterday?
They've been the second Tuesday, the second Monday.
Second Monday.
Yesterday would be.
What Wednesdays for you?
Just the second Wednesday of every month, Board of Zoning.
Is when you. Do we want to just try to meet once a month? Is that our goal?
Let's set the next one. Let's set the next 2. I think these guidelines say twice a month
Yeah.
until we get started. Maybe we can get through it in a relatively short period of time. I'm not sure how deep we can get into this, and it's just some preliminary looking into it. It's going to be a really difficult task. So we'll look at some recommendations, and as chair, I'll bounce some of our recommendations off of the Election Commission and bounce them off of legal, and also bounce them off of Mayor Burgess to see if they meet all of those criteria before we move on with it, okay? first Wednesday. Let's see what that is. I went off and left my,
August 1st.
Are you talking about first available Wednesday?
any would be available.
Oh, I
probably,
looked
right?
at
Oh.
Wednesday, the next month would be August 1st, sorry.
This is the second Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
And-
Well, today's Tuesday.
Yeah, but
You're
this
right.
week will be the second Wednesday,
Yes.
right? And you meet tomorrow?
Yes, so the next two I would be available, 18th or the 25th.
Early voting begins Friday and continues through the 28th. Of course, election day is August 2nd, so the rest of this month is not good for us.
Well, there's no such thing as a good thing for anybody, I guess. But let's set the next one, if we could, for 2 weeks from tomorrow, which will be the 4th.
Is it?
Be the
25th.
25th,
25th.
Be the 4th Wednesday.
Yeah.
So let's,
Early voting goes until 7.
okay.
July 25th.
25th.
Same time?
Do you guys rather meet earlier?
I can make 5 o'clock. I mean, that's about as early as I can make, but I can make it anytime. I mean,
Let's do it at 5 o'clock. That way we can,
it was that too, is that too pushy?
Quick question,
Yeah.
if I could ask, is it required that she be here for every meeting?
no. She's an advisory ex officio meeting member of this.
So if you were to miss-
She's extremely important, but
That meeting at least would be.
what I would like to do during our first meeting, I think, is once again to organize for everyone to take a look at the material that was passed out tonight, go online and order a copy of the, or print a copy of the guidelines, and we'll discuss those. We'll also rely on some representatives from the northern end of the county to give us their thoughts. I think they were the ones that were really interested in putting something together. So we'll rely a little bit on them and give them a chance to give us their thoughts as well. So we'll just do some more organizing in a couple of weeks.
Where do we have access to the maps, you know, the current zones and all that?
I have them right here.
Mike has
Okay, I
them.
mean, can you email them out, or?
What we'll do is we will put up a website.
Okay.
For y'all to be able to see.
Okay.
It'll be a publicly available website for them to see everything that's been going on. Very similar to what we did with the redistricting committee.
Will you use that same website?
Probably.
Can you send out the address to that?
We will email everybody all the appropriate information
Okay.
this week or
Look-
first part next week.
Look at all of that, so our assignments will be to review this material, all of it, and then also the booklet that you'll have to print online.
We can put it on the website also.
Okay, put that on the website so we could print that, and then look at the maps, and we'll just discuss those and kind of kick the thing off. Also give the representatives from the northern end of the county, the 2 that are not here tonight. That pause is on purpose, as you guys can probably realize that. We'll give those committee members an opportunity to kind of speak and let us know what's on their community's mind and see if they've got any ideas to kind of kick this thing off. So that's kind of what we'll do for our next meeting, which will be 2 weeks from tomorrow night. So do a little homework and give you a couple of weeks to do that. You guys are on the school board and the road board already know what those maps look like, but it won't hurt to kind of review them. If you have any questions, it'd probably be best to call Nicole over at the Election Commission. Can you give us a number and maybe someone else to talk to if you're unavailable?
898-7743.
Okay. Anyone besides you that we could ask?
As far as redistricting, I was the only one who
Okay.
was on that committee, so.
898-7743.
If it's general questions, pretty much anybody in the office would be competent to answer those.
Okay.
I don't know if they want to. We have a very excellent staff, so.
And we'll just schedule one meeting and then see where that goes. If Wednesday nights work out for everyone, we'll schedule our next one, whether it be the following Wednesday or 2 weeks from then, okay? So, here we go. Anyone have any questions, any comments, any follow-up items?
What kind of maps will you have? I mean, what will they be?
Probably very general maps showing where the county commission districts are and where the existing
Okay,
combination road board, school board districts are.
okay,
And probably some streets on there so you can at least orient
Okay.
yourself where they're at.
They're usually color-coded, aren't they, Mike?
Yes, sir, they will be
Okay.
color coded. And there'll be PDFs where you can download that PDF and on your computer then turn layers on and off so you can see and compare things.
Okay.
As a PDF, as long as you got Adobe Acrobat 9.0 or better reader. And I'm also available if anybody has any questions. I can be reached at 849-4870. So if you got any mapping questions,
8.
Give it a number again, 849
4870.
70.
And my office is on the 3rd floor on the other end of the courthouse, room 301.
And what's your name?
Mike Curtis, C-U-R-T-I-S.
What's the office number?
301 is my office number.
Third.
And you know, like I did with the redistricting committee, anybody wants to sit down and look at something, I'd be happy to do so. It helped iron out a lot of things by people seeing ahead of time what things look like.
Who's going to give the overview of the task? You know, who's, you, I know, said on the
Can we do that
commission.
next meeting, Keith?
Well, I
Greg?
mean, I'm
I
not
mean,
saying about right now, but I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean,
We can. That was one thing that I thought was important for
Right.
the representatives
Right.
from the
Sure,
northern end of the
sure.
county. Actually, they have requested
Okay.
this, so I want to give them,
Okay.
those the opportunity, we want to give those the opportunity to really tell us what's on their mind.
and I think once, I myself, I'm just talking about from my point of view, I mean, all I've received is this phone call from our mayor at Eagle. But anyway, once I go through this and maybe get through that packet, maybe I'll understand a lot more about what we, you know, what we're doing or what we need to do and what maybe.
I see Commissioner Stevens is back here. You have anything to add to that?
I think it's important to look at the goals that were set during the redistricting process. We were looking at having districts that were compact, that were contiguous, that put areas of common interest together, and that respected where incumbents lived. And when you see the map of what was actually passed, the only one of those goals that was accomplished was protecting incumbents. If you look at the map, you're going to see that the districts are not compact. They are not contiguous. All of them aren't. And then also areas with common interest are split up and not together. And also, something else would be to mention that the Sunshine Law does apply to the members of this committee. And so for those who aren't very familiar with how the system works, you're not allowed to deliberate with other members of the committee unless adequate public notice has been given. So it's would be wise not to contact each other if you have a question about something, but rather to contact Mr. Curtis or Ms. Lester or the mayor's office. But that's all that I have. Thank you.
We'll get into that a little bit more. Once again, I think the committee that actually worked, the original redistricting committee, actually looked at other options or tried to look at other options and really could not come up with any that the majority of the committee members thought was feasible. And the protecting incumbents, those type of things are not what are not untouchable. Okay, if that's the will of this committee, then that's the recommendation that'll come out of it. Whether it passes the full county commission is something that we'll just have to see. It's important. I think it was important. The contiguous, and not creating islands all over the county was, I think, real important to certain areas of the county, and having representatives that they could go to. So it's we'll get into that in a lot more detail, and hopefully the two representatives from the northern end of the county will be here and can let us know their feelings a little bit more. So we'll get into it a lot in a lot more detail at our next meeting. Once again, homework assignments are to go on the website that Mike will send to all of us our emails and take a look at those, the maps, and also the policies and procedures, and we'll do our best to come up with something.
It'll be Monday or Tuesday of next week. I'm at scout camp all this next week. That's why I'm dressed the way I am. I came from camp to be here tonight, and I'm going back. But yeah, we will send you detailed instructions via email on how to access this SharePoint site and where to pull in the maps and the data and the information that you need to look at.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Nicole, do you have anything?
Yeah, I was just wondering if everybody could go around the room and introduce themselves. I know you commented earlier that maybe not everybody knew each other. And of course, I'm Nicole Lester. I'm the administrator of elections for our county.
Back here's Robert Stevens. He's a county commissioner, and he represents a district down in the northern end of the county. Why don't we just start?
Don Lamb from Eagleville.
I'm Jerome Dempsey, consulting civil engineer in Smyrna.
I'm Jim Stubblefield from here in Murfreesboro.
Coy Young, Las Casas.
I'm Jeff Phillips. I'm a county commissioner.
Edward Phillips down in Midland.
Keith Bratcher, I'm a road board member, represent districts 1, 2, and 3.
Mike Curtis, I'm a data analyst for Rutherford County Information Technology.
This face back in the rear, you may get to really know him because he usually has a lot of questions, and some of them are not easy to answer. And if you don't know the answer, just tell him you don't know, and he won't make us look too bad. Introduce yourself.
I'm Scott Broden. I'm a reporter of the Daily News Journal.
He's at pretty much every meeting, every county commission, committee meeting, and commission meeting, and others as well, and does a really good job of keeping our citizens up to date and informed. So that's it. We're out of here unless anybody else has anything. We'll try to get into it. We probably won't have any recommendations for a month or so, any ideas for a month or so, but we'll just familiarize ourselves with the process over the next couple of meetings and get a better feel for what task lies in front of us, okay? We're adjourned.